removes his saddle from his anus.
There you go, that's a style singing off, isn't it, on the video?
Yeah, removes his saddle from his anus.
That'd be the weirdest intro to a video ever. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now the BMW 3 Series is the most popular car in the small executive market, selling 15 million over the past 48 years. Now it's thanks to BMW Charles and Halsham. I've got the 3 Series from this year, the 2019 model, and I want to find out, is it better than the previous generations? The likes of the Audi A4, the Mercedes C-Class, even the Lexus IS really have moved on their game. So BMW have got a lot to live up to make it the king of the small executive cars. So let's have a look around. As with all BMWs, this has got the traditional kidney grills. It's got something quite interesting. It's got active aero on the slats. When it gets hot, they open up, allows more air in, and then when it cools down, they'll close. That aids with the aerodynamics and ultimately leads to a better fuel consumption. We've got LED lights, LED fog lights. We've got a camera at the front, and that's for the 360-degree parking cameras, sensors. There's an awful lot of technology going on here, but we'll talk about that later on. We've got the M styling body kits on here, and overall I think it looks quite aggressive. It's really nice. We've got certainly a more curvaceous styling on the front. The lines, I think, this looks really nice. One of the design briefs of this new car was to focus on passenger comfort, and to do that they've made the car longer and wider. This has also had a secondary benefit of making this a better driver's car. We've got 19-inch wheels as well. There's a lovely sunroof. Funny story about this, we were trying to close it earlier on. Now a safety feature they've put in place, if you put your hand in, you can't close it. So we were there, we were trying to press the buttons and it wouldn't close. Took about 15 minutes and we saw a small beetle had crawled in there. So eventually coaxed it out, it flew away and we could close it. So no animals are harmed in the making of this video. Cars today have a wealth of technology, and that's certainly the case with this BMW 3 Series. We'll start with the infotainment system. This uses the latest generation, version 7 of the iDrive system.
Now this system is really clever, but we're somewhat crippled with it today because this car, being really quite new, is still awaiting its navigation code to start all that side of things up. So if you were able to see the screen now, you'd see navigation loading content. Well, it's been saying that all day. It's just not available, which means that you can't then have a look at some of the other groovy things, such as the driver assist package, which will, under normal circumstances, show you on your screen the speed limit for that area, for example, because it just doesn't know where you are.
Yeah, I've got that at the moment. If we talk about the head-up display, I've got that in front of me. You can see the speed I am going, and then normally to the left of it, it's got the speed you should be going, but at the moment it's got dashes in there. So like Will said, it does hinder some of the features this car's got.
It does, but otherwise it's a fantastic piece of kit. And you've got the now usual sort of top-down parking assists and what have you, which is all very, very useful.
One of the new features that this particular version of iDrive brings in is something called gesture control. Now, I can wave my hands around like a lunatic and do things like changing the volume of the stereo on here. So you waggle your finger around like this to go up and that to go down, thumb left and right to change tracks. So it's sort of quite
so
cool.
Pointless.
Yeah,
you've got a button here to turn it on and off and do the volume, and then you've got buttons to move things up and down. Pointless. Great technology, pointless.
Yeah, I don't think I'd use it. I tried using it, and you end up sort of going, oh, too loud, too loud. Yeah,
you could end up looking like you're just dancing.
Dad dancing.
That's right. But it's controlled from cameras that come down from behind the mirror, and it's literally just looking down to see what is going on below it.
Yeah, it's very, very clever, really.
Very clever, but pointless. So another thing you can do with this system is voice control. and it does it very well. So if you were to say a colloquial hello to this car, it would then listen out for your next order. Hi BMW. Set cabin temperature to 21 degrees Celsius.
I set the temperature on 21 degrees Celsius.
Cleverly, it's done it on my side.
Yeah, it knows
Not your side.
which side it is. So if I want it a bit cooler, then Will does. You can just say it in theory.
Well, you're on 18 now, so
Yeah.
if you try to change it.
Hi BMW.
Hello, what can I help you with?
Set temperature to 27 degrees.
Oh my God.
I set the temperature in the driver's
And
area
it- you're
on
going to
27
roast.
degrees Celsius.
It's 30 degrees outside and we've just set it to 27 degrees. I think I'm going to need to change that. But yeah, we can see Will's is on 21, mine's on 27. So that's quite clever. It does take a bit of getting used to, doesn't it? It's not quite good as maybe Siri or Alexa.
I want to know how long it's going to be before you have to change it.
The instrument binnacle in this latest 3 Series, it has gone over to being completely digital. It's the same one that is currently in the Z4, the 8 Series, the 7, and it really does bring this car into the 21st century. The likes of Audi have had their virtual cockpit for quite a while, and it certainly does bring it up to the same sort of standard. I do think it is rather cool. And depending on driving modes as well, you get different colours, you can customise it, you get a little map, so there's loads and loads of things. I'm not going to go into everything because this video would go on for absolutely ages.
The car overall, though, is a really nice, comfortable place to be. You know, these seats, every BMW we take out is a comfortable one.
Yeah,
I don't think there is a bad BMW, although the 2 Series Grand Tourer I don't like very much.
yes.
But the rest of them, you know, all the way from the 1 Series right up through the 7, and we've taken out a couple of the 8s, the i8 and the 850. Really very, very comfortable. You know, BMW have a reputation for it being the driver's car, and they're right. You know,
Yeah.
Superb piece of kit.
It's very nice behind the wheel, and we've got full leather in this. The Sport and M Sport come with full leather interior. It's only the base model which doesn't, just comes with cloth.
Yeah, and you know, 4 adults in here of decent size, easy.
Yeah,
Massive boot, actually. I was quite surprised to see how far back it went.
definitely a family car or a business car.
Yeah,
think it'd be-
commonly business, I think, for you know, those motorway milers, but ideal for family. Absolutely perfect family car. Expensive. What was this? This particular one was 48.
48,000.
That's eye-watering.
Yeah, it's a big jump on from the base model, which I think is like low 30s. 35 for the Sport and sort of 38, I think it is for this model, the M Sport. But all of the optional extras, we know
So
what it's like. It just suddenly.
They threw all the options on. So you've got your usual stuff. You've got door bins for, I suppose you get a half-litre bottle of water in there. You've got, Jesus, that goes back a long way. There's Narnia in the door. That really goes a long way back.
That's very good for putting things and losing them.
Yeah, absolutely. You could properly lose something in there. You know, a family, maybe. It's huge.
We've got traditional USB charging.
Oh yeah, but now you've also got USB-C.
Yeah.
2 in the back, 1 or 2 in the front.
I think there's one under here,
Right.
and also there's wireless charging as well, which is a really good thing to have. Pop your
Pop
new
your
phone on there.
Yeah, it tends to cook my phone in my car. But it's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, this is really nice and comfortable. It's a lovely place to be, actually.
Yeah, from a driver's point of view as well, these seats are lovely. They're really quite supportive.
Yeah, they are good. I would compare these to the Z4 seats, you know. I think they're as comfortable.
They are really nice.
Maybe the Z4 just sort of holds you in corners better, but yeah, this is really nice.
I know what it's like behind the wheel. Will knows what it's like from the passenger seat, so up in the back and we'll see what it's like.
Should we try some magic?
So now you're in the back, what's it like?
It's lovely, but doing that gives me jet lag. It's nice. The leather is lovely. The door cards are lovely. There's I don't know if we mentioned this earlier. There's a really nice sound system, but I have found something that is very, very, very irritating and almost literal pain in the arse. So I'm sat now on the near side for the UK, the left-hand side of the car, and I'm buckled in. There's the same sort of setup as you'd expect for the other side of the car, but there's more than a lap belt for the central passenger if you were to have one. It's a proper three-pointer, but there's a junction box for the belt that I'm literally sitting on, and if one has a bigger bottom, as I seem to, it's really very uncomfortable. You wouldn't want to do any real distance on this side. I think maybe if you were, well, certainly if you were smaller, it wouldn't necessarily be such a problem, but it's very, very, very uncomfortable. But if we ignore that, it's lovely.
About any cup holders or anything back there?
And we've got 2 door bins, each with a hole that you could probably put 3/4 of a litre of water in. But actually the nicest bit in here is the climate control in the middle. It's really very nice. And it's also 2 USB-Cs there, plus a 12 volt, and what used to be a cigarette lighter kind of connection. And then behind us, we've got cup holders, if we can open them. So 2 in the armrest thing, and then possibly the biggest, what do they call them? Pass-through.
Yeah.
So in cars I've had in the past, there's been a little box here that you open and you can get stuff through, skis or whatever. But on this, the whole section comes down. So even I could literally get in there.
That's huge.
I could worm my way into the boot and certainly grab some pieces of camera equipment and what have you. Very practical, I guess, and certainly for moving stuff around. 2 Isofix fittings, left and right, as you'd expect. Yeah, head rest, anti-whiplash type of affair. But otherwise, it's very nice.
Brilliant. Well, need to get back in the front now. All the time I've been driving this, I've had this 8-speed ZF box in automatic. I haven't changed over. I think I tried the manual, but it does such a good job of keeping the power in. There's a very short power band on diesels, but it seems to keep it in that sweet spot all of the time, and you can just put your foot down at pretty much any speed, and the torque, well, it really does surge you forward very nicely.
That was quite impressive actually for a car that hasn't been delivered as a performance car as such. It's all right. Picks up its skirt and runs.
One thing we have noticed though is a squeak.
It's a really irritating squeak, and it's somewhere in the back of the car.
I think we need to get out and try and investigate where on earth it's coming from. It's not massively noticeable, but it's enough when you listen. You can hear this.
It's almost like, and this is going to take me certainly back to childhood, but chewing on elastic bands, that sort of strutchy noise rather than, I don't know, we'll have to have a look.
Yeah, we'll get back to you when we find out. We've been driving around for a while and we could hear this really annoying squeak. Now after some investigation we found out where it is. It's the boot. Now if you listen, there it is.
So earlier on when we were driving for ages without any problems at all on what must have been the best roads in Sussex, no problem, really comfortable, compliant, lovely. This bit now, bouncing around a bit, and the bit earlier when we were in town was awful. They're really uncomfortable.
Definitely go for the adaptive. I think it's worth those few extra pennies.
Just I think there are many more pounds in those pennies.
Yeah, well, pennies, pounds, yeah. It's just a number. I'm sure BMW would be happy to help.
I'm sure they will, yeah. Oh my God! New spine.
Yeah, the M Sport suspension is good when it's smooth, but at the moment,
yeah, we are basically going across the equivalent of a ploughed field, and it's not comfortable.
It's very.
But when it's on a flat road, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, chuck the adaptive dampers on.
I think so.
Definitely, yeah. Just tick that extra option box, and I think you'd really appreciate the extra money that you've spent.
I think you would. I think you're right. I think this to be an all-rounder, to have the adaptive would make it so much better to drive on these sorts of surfaces. But once you're out on the nicer roads, It's fantastic.
So the performance of this car, it's supposed to do 60 in 6.8 seconds. We need to find somewhere a bit quieter and see if that's actually the case.
That's not bad actually, if it does it. That's not bad at all for a car of this type.
And we're off. 60. Yeah, that was pretty lively. You've got to remember that's a diesel doing that. It wasn't long ago since the original M3 had the same sort of performance. Very, very impressed. Will and myself have had this car for a couple of days, and I want to say a massive thank you to BMW Charles in Howsham. At the beginning of this video, I wanted to know, had BMW ruined the 3 Series? It's a very, very important car to them. It's their bread and butter. And I've got to say, no, they haven't. This car, well, it's brilliant, isn't it?
It's excellent, actually. It ticks all the boxes. You know, excellent family car, excellent for your business travelling. If that's what you're needing it for, it's great. It's fantastic.
And it's still a driver's car. I've absolutely loved it. This might be the diesel model, but it's very pokey. I've got to say that. Very, very good. But overall, I think, yeah, big thumbs up. Go and test drive it. See what you think, and I think you would not be disappointed at all in this.
Definitely not.
This new 3 Series.
Yep.
Well, basically, I think it's blooming brilliant.
It's very good. You can do that now, I think.
Could try the pedestrian avoidance, or the
While he sits on your bonnet.
Ask him as he flies up. Did you find the bonnet more comfortable than usual?
Removes his saddle from his anus.
There you go, that's a style singing off, isn't it, on the video?
Yeah, removes his saddle from his anus.
That'd be the weirdest intro to a video ever.